At the time of making this video, Panasonic, Carrier, Media, Samsung, Blue Star and LG amongst others have launched their 2026 models of 1-ton ACs. LG only has a 4-star model, which means they have recertified their 2025 5-star AC and it is 1 star lower in the 2026 rating period. Now why is this important? The 2026 models of ACs are aligned to the new BEE efficiency ratings, which means they are expected to use 10% lower electricity than ACs from the previous rating period. For example, in standard testing, a Carrier 2025 model 1-ton 5-star AC consumed about 536 units of electricity, while a 2026 model of the same consumes only 470 units of electricity, which is a 10+% reduction per year. If you are a heavy user of ACs, then it is better to go with the 2026 models from my recommendations. When you are shortlisting an AC, there are two main things you should look at very closely. The first is the cooling capacity of the AC. Second is the energy efficiency of the AC. The rest are all additional value. I went over 45 1-ton ACs, both 3-star and 5-star, from 2025 and 2026 to identify the best value 1-ton AC that you can purchase this summer. Since the main job of the AC is to cool properly, you should make sure that you select an AC with the right cooling capacity. There are two main things you do need to consider here. One, is it right for the room that you are installing it in? And two, is the cooling capacity as it is advertised or is it lower? Let's start with the room selection. A 1-ton AC is a good starting point if you want to right size your AC for a small room on a budget, as it is cheaper than a 1.5-ton AC by 8 to 10%. But don't go just by the price. A 1-ton AC is sufficient for you if your room size is less than 150 square feet, approximately 12 feet by 12 feet. It does not get direct sunlight from east or west facing windows, and it is not on the top floor. If any of these conditions are met, it is better to go for a higher capacity like a 1.5-ton or a 2-ton AC. Now you may ask me, budget is not a concern for me. I can go for a 1.5-ton even for a small size room, as anyways ACs these days are convertible. There are two problems with this. When an AC cools the room faster than usual, it does not get enough time to remove the humidity from the room. So while the room will become cold faster, it will feel sticky. A 1-ton AC cools at the speed that is ideal for the room size while actively pulling the moisture out of the air, resulting in comfortable and dry cooling. The second issue of going with a higher capacity, even though they are convertible, is that a 1.5-ton AC can only go as low as 0.5 to 0.6 ton, whereas a 1-ton AC can go as low as 0.4 to 0.5 ton, which means higher electricity savings. So it is always important to buy the right size for your room, not too high and not too low. Next thing to make sure is that the 1-ton AC is the right capacity, not lower than expected like many brands tend to do. For this, you have to understand how the tonnage is calculated. In very simple terms, a 1-ton AC should have a cooling capacity of 3.517 kilowatt or 12,000 BTU per hour. This is a standard industry conversion used for 1 ton of cooling capacity in cooling systems like refrigerators or air conditioning. Second, if the cooling capacity on the BEE label is lower than the acceptable range that you see on the screen for 1 ton, it means that the actual tonnage is lower than the marketed tonnage, which again means that the cooling will be lower than expected. So for example, if you see a 1-ton AC with a cooling capacity less than 3.4 or 3.5 kilowatt, which is the acceptable range, it means the AC has lower tonnage. If it is higher than that number, the tonnage is higher. This is rarely the case. Blue Star, Samsung and the 3-star model of the 1-ton Panasonic AC are lower than 3.4 kilowatt cooling capacity, which means they are only about 93 to 95% of max capacity. Does that mean it is wrong to buy an AC with lower tonnage than marketed? Well, if you're getting it at a great price and if you use it in a smaller room than required, it will still be okay to go with that AC. Now, most ACs can handle up to 52-degree ambient temperature. Haier, Acer and Samsung are able to handle up to 58 degrees Celsius, with Haier handling the best of 60 degrees. So if you live in an area with higher ambient temperatures than the rest of the country, these are the brands to consider, but not in isolation. You should look at it in conjunction with their overall cooling capacity. Haier will be the most suitable in such scenarios, or the heavy-duty ones like O General and Mitsubishi. Now let's talk about the energy efficiency. Like I mentioned earlier, 2026 ACs are more energy efficient than 2025 ACs, but they are more expensive. But since the annual electricity savings is expected to be more than 10% per year, it will be preferable to go with the latest models if ongoing expense is a factor for you. For efficient ACs, you must understand how to read the BEE label accurately. Now, there are three main things that you need to consider here. First is the ICER rating, or the Indian Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio. This is at top of the label. This is refreshed every 2 to 3 years by the rating organization BEE, or Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and the latest period started in Jan 2026. A higher ICER number, the better. Now, as you can see in the table, a 5-star AC in the previous period is a 4-star AC in the current period. Almost all 2025 5-star ACs are now 4-star ACs in the new rating period. Some ACs have a higher ICER rating than recommended. Like, for example, the Panasonic 1-ton 5-star AC has an ICER rating of 5.8, which means they will be in the efficient range for almost 4 years. On the other hand, Carrier AC has an ICER rating of 5.6, which means it will become a 4-star after 2028. The second aspect that determines energy efficiency is the annual electricity consumed, which also helps to determine your annual AC running costs. The number published is under test conditions for 1600 hours per year, which is a little over 4 hours per day. Your actual energy consumed will be different based on your usage. But keeping all things similar, like the tonnages and the star ratings, 2026 models of 5-star ACs consume between 450 to 470 units, with the exception of Blue Star, which consumes almost 517, which means it is less energy efficient than the others. 2025 models ACs, on the other hand, consume between 510 to 530 units, which is effectively 4-star in the latest label period, consuming over 10% higher electricity. So, effectively, while the upfront cost of a 1-ton 5-star AC will be slightly higher due to the ICER rating change, the efficiency gains over the long run is much better, especially if you use the AC for long durations throughout the year. Now, to optimize energy consumed by you, you should set the AC to 24 degrees centigrade or higher and pair it with a fan for better circulation for best energy efficiency. Lastly, the star rating. You should blindly go for a 5-star AC if your usage is over 12 hours per day and you use it over 3 to 4 months in a year. For any lower usage, a 3-star AC is good enough. I have a detailed breakdown video on the cost-benefit analysis of a 3-star versus 5-star AC, which I will link over here. Now that you understand the basics that you should not ignore, let's talk about some optional value features, which are a nice to have. Having smart home features helps to turn on or off the AC remotely using the app, control the temperature, understand power utilization, and so on from the app itself. Most brands have models with and without smart home capabilities. The one with smart home are more expensive. Panasonic, Samsung, and LG have the best smart features amongst ACs. AI in ACs is still an over-marketed term and an overhyped term. There is nothing really AI-like in any of the ACs, other than adjusting the capacity based on the ambient temperature in the room. This is just a basic convertible AC, not really AI. Auto clean, humidity control, and various types of filters are available in all ACs these days. No differentiation there. ACs only have some level of purification when they use PM 2.5 filters, but do not depend on the AC to purify your air. It is better to get an air purifier instead. Or there are some alternatives these days for attaching a HEPA filter externally to an AC. All ACs these days support stabilizer-free operations when the voltage is between 110 to 285 volt range. If you stay in an area where there are frequent power fluctuations, it would be better to get a stabilizer to protect the PCB, which can be the most expensive part to replace. If you have a fairly stable input power, then a stabilizer is not required. Now let's talk about the warranty and overall satisfaction. Installation for most ACs has an extra charge between 700 to 1500 rupees that needs to be paid to the installation engineer. So factor that in to your budget. Some Samsung ACs seem to have free installation as well. Warranty in general is 1 year with 5 years warranty on the PCB and 10 years on the inverter compressor, with a few exceptions. Godrej, Haier, and Samsung give a 5-year warranty on the overall product including the PCB, which is additional peace of mind for you. In the 1-ton ACs, Media, Blue Star, and Mark-U only give a 1 year on the product, no additional warranty on the PCB. After going over the experience of thousands of users of these brands, as expected, many budget brands use third-party networks for service in non-tier 1 cities. So you can expect delays in installation or service. Most of the brands in the decent row have good product satisfaction but very average service satisfaction. So now that you understand how to shortlist the right AC for your home, let's get to my recommendations that take into consideration all of these factors that we just discussed. My first recommendation is the Panasonic 1-ton 3-star or 5-star AC, which is the 2026 model. These are ACs with Wi-Fi. Panasonic also has an essential variant without Wi-Fi at a lower cost. Panasonic has the best ICER rating of 5.8 for their 5-star ACs, which means it future-proofs your purchase even in the next BEE rating system that would start in 2028. The cooling performance is also good in the acceptable range of over 3.4 kW. After exiting their refrigerator and washing machine segments, Panasonic has plans on doubling down on their air cooling segment. So overall, great value for this AC. Next is the Haier 1-ton 4 or 5-star AC. I feel like Haier is one of the most underrated AC brands. It has a true 1-ton cooling capacity, unlike most others that deliver slightly lower tonnage. It supports a high 60-degree ambient temperature with a hyper PCB, which is designed to endure power surges, so uninterrupted cooling through power fluctuations as well. Even being a 1-ton AC with its support of high temperature and optimum cooling capacity, it can be used in top floor of rooms. On the flip side, the indoor blower is louder than the others to achieve the 20-meter airthrow, and the app interface is kind of clunky. Next is the LG 1-ton 4-star 2026 AC. Seeing that there are not yet any 3 or 5-star 2026 ACs in the 1-ton segment by LG, this AC is a recertified 2025 model where the star rating is now downgraded from 5-star to 4-star. This LG AC is ultra quiet, so it is suitable for light sleepers. It achieves this with a dual inverter compressor, which is expected to reduce vibration and therefore reduce the noise levels. This is an essential AC, non-Wi-Fi AC, so premium LG pricing for essential features. Next is the Daikin 1-ton 3 or 5-star AC. Daikin is one of the few brands that have the cooling capacity as expected, above 3.517 kW required by 1-ton ACs, so you can be rest assured of its cooling performance. This Daikin AC is essential only, so no Wi-Fi, no app control. Should also know that while Daikin has good durability of their ACs, their spare parts are more expensive than other brands. And lastly, the IFB 1-ton AC. IFB has one of the best cooling performances and supports a high ambient temperature of 55 degrees Celsius. It also has a weatherproof coating on the outdoor unit and has gold fins on the condenser coil, helping it to deal with rust, salt and moisture degradation over time. So it is very suitable for coastal areas as well. While this is a smart AC, the smart features are glitchy compared to other brands with smart capabilities. While I do recommend Media and Carrier in the almost 1.5-ton ACs, I have not included them in the 1-ton category, as the pricing of these are similar or higher than the ones that I have recommended, but they don't give the same price to value. Now, when you're on a budget under 30,000, you will either compromise on the cooling performance, which is lesser than 1-ton, or you will compromise on the star rating, a 3-star instead of 5-star, or the brand of course. So I've tried to identify the best amongst those. My first recommendation is the Marq by Flipkart 1-ton 3 or 5-star AC. Marq by Flipkart is by far one of the most aggressively priced products, consistently one of the cheapest. But that does not mean the capabilities are subpar. It still has a good cooling performance of 3.48 kW, decent efficiency as well. I expect the 2026 models to be more efficient when it is launched. The biggest con is the installation and service of Marq products, which is known to miss or delay service or installation appointments and overcharge for accessories. Go for this only if you are tight on upfront budget. And lastly is the Cruise 1-ton AC, again available in both 3 and 5-star models. Cruise gives highly affordable and energy efficient ACs with basic filtration. It has a VarioCool inverter, which is essentially a convertible inverter compressor which can adjust capacity based on the load in the room. It also has a 100% copper condenser with anti-rust technology, so suitable for coastal areas as well. Since it is a smaller brand compared to other AC brands, the service in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities is just average and relies on third-party vendors. Now, if you found this video useful, share the video and subscribe to become part of the 2 lakh plus community that trusts us with their decision making. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.